Hi everyone. This is some input to help you make conflict agreements for sustainable collaborations. That's something you can consider at the beginning of collaborations or midway through if you haven't considered this before. So what we're going to do is reflect on what we can do when there is inevitably tension or conflict in the collaborations we are involved with. And the intention of having this reflection is to support us to live nonviolent consciousness when disconnection arises. Sometimes that's difficult. It's ultimately to support our collaborations to thrive and to support our collaborations to make more of an impact in the world. So many times our collaborations kind of get stuck with unresolved conflict or lack of commitment to working things through. So it's really to support us to be more effective. And this is based on all of the work that the Conflict Transformation Weave have done over the last 5 years, since 2016, and our Building Restorative Systems input. Basically, it's a kind of potted version of what we do in building restorative systems without any of the practice. So it gives you a bit of an insight into that. So we recommend having an outline of what steps of support are possible. So these are some of the steps of support. You might want to include others. So they are self-empathy. So when tension or conflict happens, self-empathy, go there first, get some empathy, then possibly have a direct dialogue with a person, or have a supported conversation or mediation with a third person, or a group conversation or meeting to discuss issues that impact all of you. So you might do one of these, you might do all of them. You might do self-empathy and then go to a supported conversation. So you might mix and match these. But there is a progression through them. And as you go through these, they will involve more people and more resources. So self-empathy is the thing that you can do alone. So you can do the 4 steps of listening. You can do a transforming enemy image process. You can assume positive intention of the other. You can ask yourself what you're not seeing. And as you're doing this, make sure you really, really acknowledge your own needs. This is the important thing about this step, is that you are really acknowledging your feelings and your needs. And after this, you might want to go to empathy, or you might want to go to direct dialogue. So empathy or empathic support from another person, or just having space to share what's going on for you. You can ask another person in the group for empathy to help you get clear on your needs and to be heard. And then after this, you can go to direct dialogue or supported conversation, or you could organize a group circle. Or maybe this is enough, this step. You know, you've resolved it, you're clear about what's going on for you, this may be enough. But if you do go to direct dialogue, which is just you and the other person impacted, first thing is to get clear about what you want to achieve in the direct dialogue, almost like what is the purpose of this direct dialogue? Are you wanting to give feedback to support the other person's learning and growth as a kind of gift to them? Or are you wanting to be heard and understood for how you were stimulated? So it's important to make that distinction, to get clear, because you might say, I want to offer you for feedback, but actually you really want to be heard. And you're not so much there to kind of support the other person to learn and grow, but actually you really, really need to be heard for how you were stimulated. So it's really important to have enough empathy before you go into the direct dialogue stage. And what you can offer, either as feedback or if you're wanting to have impact named, you can offer an observation. And it's really nice to be able to acknowledge the need that you imagine the other person is trying to meet. That does help settle something in the other person. If they hear that you acknowledge the need that they were trying to meet, it's like, all right, this person isn't just going to blame me and judge me for what's happened. It does settle something and open something. So if you can manage that, it's really helpful to imagine what the person was trying to achieve. And then name your feelings and needs in this situation, or the impact on you. And it's helpful to request for reflection so that you get the experience of being heard. You can also offer feedback to yourself. And again, this is another step that if you can bring this in, this will reassure the other person that you are taking responsibility for your piece in this. So you could offer feedback to yourself of things that you did or didn't do that didn't help the situation. Really nice to receive, really connecting, to be in a dialogue with someone who is taking responsibility and acknowledging the things that they did that might not have helped the situation. So in relation to everything that's said, just check, what are you hearing? What are you hearing me say? You know, yeah, I just want to check that we're on the same page. You know, what are you hearing me say right now? These kind of things. And then how it is to hear this. So make sure that those steps are different. So first check for understanding. What are you hearing? And then how is it to hear this? These are two separate things. So in that final question, how is it to hear this? That's more of the person's response. So they might be shocked or surprised or angry. They might be annoyed. So that's how it might be to hear it. But before that, make sure that you have been heard. So that's why the what are you hearing is the important step. And then you can see if there's anything else that needs to be said. That might be enough, or you might need to then go on to supported conversation. So if you have done self-empathy, empathy, and direct dialogue, and you want to have support, to have a conversation, which is basically like a mediation, but sometimes I prefer the word supported conversation. Ask someone who's done the building restorative systems or anyone else who is happy supporting a conversation as a third person. And make sure the person you want to speak to knows what this conversation is going to be about. Don't spring it on them because they would find that possibly a little bit overwhelming. And the third person might want to have an empathy chat with both of you beforehand. So another possibility is a group conversation or a meeting. So this is really helpful if, you know, the conflict or the tension is about things that affect many people, and it's possibly about your process or issues that you are trying to campaign around. So you could use any kind of open discussion structure to have this meeting. It could possibly be a meeting about how your meetings are being run and that they're not inclusive, or that only certain people get to speak, or we're going round and round in circles, that kind of thing. So you need some kind of discussion model. So the empathy circle structure is a good one for that, for inclusive dialogue and for being heard, or something like the Rosebud Thorn feedback model, where we're looking at what's going well, what's a thorn, and what has potential as well. Something that invites inclusive dialogue. And remember that everyone's needs matter. Remember that disagreement is the way to a better solution, the right amount of disagreement. And remember that hearing feedback is the way to better collaborations. So you may have worked through all of those steps, and there may still be an issue that you need more support with. So in which case, contact the Conflict Transformation Weave if you are in the UK. We can support with tensions in MVC related groups and teams, specifically those who advertise anything on the MVC UK website or for practice groups. We also have monthly conflict surgery sessions, and this will help you consolidate any agreement. You might want to take something from these steps that I've outlined, but you might want to make them more your own. So we can help you with that. And we can also provide facilitators to host mediations and circles, or to support you to do that. And anyone can do our Building Restorative Systems series, anyone around the world, for more input. And we do this twice a year. So do get in touch if you are interested. I hope this has been helpful.